Hello? Hello, 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 hello? Hello, hello, hello. We've had the technical gremlins in here this evening. So I'll just say good evening, everyone. I was flashing and I've done a huge intro already. Then I realised I hadn't actually gone live. So good evening, good morning, wherever you are. I had a little bit of a thing go wrong just before going live. So I was just correcting that, and then I started chatting to you all, and then realised I wasn't actually live on YouTube. I was live everywhere else, but not on YouTube. So excuse me for the bit of a kerfuffle. The gremlins are back with us. So we've got flashing lights, we've got a few lights and a little tree in the background there. And it's very, very busy there in the chit chat. Right, I'm going to say hello to everybody first of all. Hopefully you can see and hear me. There I am, Megan. I know. Okay, let's have a look. Sunny and warm in Mexico. Oh, very nice, Cindy. Yeah, indeed, very lucky. Sandra, Montreal, beautiful winter sunny day. Fab. Kerry, cold and dark, but it's not raining. Yay! Hi, Lorna. Cold? Yeah, it's cold out there tonight. I let the dogs in earlier, and it's like, oh my god. Even Sherlock, and Sherlock is like the last one to come in. He's usually out there mooching around or barking. He was waiting at the door with the others. He's like, I want to come in. Plus, we took his jumper off him earlier. Hi, Megan, coming in from South Africa, and Deborah. Greetings. Southern British Columbia, no snow for a couple of days, but expecting more later this week, especially in time for Christmas, I bet. Hi, Susan from Scotland, -2, but I know, it feels colder tonight, doesn't it? I think I'm just tired. Excuse my cold-ridden voice still, it's getting better, but it just sounds awful. I feel really bunged up still at the moment. Hi, Susan, snowy Central Ontario. Carolyn, cold, dark, South East Hampshire. Julie, chilly Surrey. Susan, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Hello from Birmingham, Anita, fab. Hi Frank, brilliant, in from Durham. How's that light up dog on your doorstep? Oh, brilliant, Philip, lovely to see you. Cold and dark Derbyshire, at least today's the shortest day. I know, Philip, I know you're like me. Tomorrow, summer is on its way again. The days are starting to get longer, and it does so much for my positive mental health to know that the shortest day is over with. I know we've got tons of dark, cold, wet, windy days coming, but each one is going to get slightly brighter and slightly longer with more daylight, so I don't care. We're on our way to summer. Hi Harry, thought about joining in with a bit of fizz. It's a hot cup of coffee instead. I'm too cold. Yeah, I've got, I don't know if you heard me say, I've got rhubarb and custard Brothers cider here, so we shall see. It tastes good. So, cheers everybody. Merry Christmas. In case I knock it over, I have a rule not to have glasses like that in my studio, but I do have one, so I hope I don't knock it over. It's like a music concert when the star arrives. Oh no, it's not Nicola, but it is funny. Oh dear, I love the lights. Cute. Me too. Brilliant. Right, I'm going to switch the main light on now, or my drawing light. Bear with me a second if I can find the right switch. Ka-ching. There we go. We have lights. We have liftoff. Let's stop all this flashing nonsense as well. If I can find my switch. There we go. I love the glass. Do you know what, these glasses, I grabbed one because I didn't want to bring glass in here. These are the patio, the summer house glasses, so they're plastic, just in case you obviously get knocked over with the dogs. Oh, whilst I've got it in my hand, I'll have another quick sip. Okay, fab. So, interesting demo coming up this evening. And we'll do the little Q&A bit first of all. Well, we could do the Q&A at the same time as the demo. Now, the demo, I'm going to show you that first of all, actually. Let's get these cameras sorted. Okay, I might have to bring my everything over a little bit. Let's get this nice in the middle of the screen. There we go. The reason I'm not quite lined up is because we've had a little bit of an issue. So, tonight, I'm going to be demonstrating to you. I've cracked open two things I've had sat in my studio for a long time. Derwent sent me this set of Chromaflow months ago when they came out, and I just opened them properly today. So I didn't want to do anything too much with them before now, because obviously not many people have got them. But I thought maybe we could do a future project that is using a limited palette again. Now, the whole thing with the Chromaflow is they were designed basically to be launched mainly in America and also in the Far East, but mainly America, and they were designed literally to rival, I'm just getting a tissue there with me, designed to rival Prismacolor. Prismacolor in the US don't really have a main rival out on the market, or didn't. So Derwent worked on developing this range of pencils, and basically, obviously, Prismacolor's got a bit of a rap over the last few years. They're very, very cheap in America. They're not easy to get hold of here in the UK. You have to be a special license to be able to sell them here, so they're not legally available apart from through a couple of people that have got permission to sell them. Got tea and biscuits. Fab. But they were designed basically to rival Prismacolor in being really creamy, really smooth, blendable, and lovely, vibrant colours. So we'll give them a go in a bit. The only thing with them, obviously, is light fastness is an issue. But if you want to just use them for fun, to make prints from your work, absolutely fine. Then the other thing I've had sat here for absolutely ages, well, amongst other things, the Neocolor One. And these are wax pastels. And again, these are light fast. They are known for I think they were made about, they're wax crayons. I think they were made initially about 60 odd years ago, if not longer. Beautiful range of colours. Again, really highly pigmented, really blendable. And when I pulled the Chromaflow out earlier, I was thinking, oh, it might be a good time just to crack these open as well, just as a comparison to work on heat. So that's what I want to do, is do a little demo on some heat, but that is where we have got a little bit of an issue. Oh, I've got to blow my nose again. So sorry, this cold is just refusing to go away. Oh, excuse me. It will be gone. It will be gone by Christmas, I promise. Okay. So we had a couple of questions asked, first of all, before we get going. And one was about, I know we've covered it before, about entering competitions. I'm not sure who asked it. It could have been someone that was here tonight. I think it might be. And it was just about, and I know, I think Aracelli's posted in the group recently about competitions. I'm going to post a link to a few as well. And over the Christmas period, I'm going to get a list of ones that I recommend you guys enter. Now, obviously, if you've never entered one before, there's lots of levels that you can start at. The fact that you're actually putting your art out, for whether you're putting it in the group, whether you're putting it on your own timeline, on social media, that is amazing, because you're already putting your art out there. That is a huge first step, especially for friends and family to see it. Because a lot of people think, oh, it's just a hobby, or you're not taking it seriously. But then, hopefully they can see your work develop over time. First thing I say, we've got the Patreon competition. So all of you are eligible to enter as many pieces as you like. And thank you to those of you that put your entries in this week already. That really helps us ahead of Christmas to get the gallery, start to pull it together. But you've got another 10 days, I think. 10, 11 days to get your pieces started, finished, entered into the gallery. And that is a safe way of doing your first competition. And then people have gone on from doing that little competition as their first one to now exhibiting out there in galleries, at shows, entering bigger competitions. When I started out, back in 2012, I started out by buying Colour Pencil magazine, and Colour Pencil magazine run a monthly challenge, and back then it was beginners and advanced.
So obviously I was student beginner, that was it, and advanced. So obviously I started off entering student beginner, and it was mainly because each month completely different subjects. So the first one I entered was a landscape, and I think no, the first one I think might have been some glass bottles on concrete filled with sand. And then the next one was a landscape, and then it was pine cones and apples in a white ceramic bowl, and then it was the snow leopard. Um, so fortunately, I mean, I was lucky enough to win the beginners section in the landscape and then the snow leopard, and it really pushed me outside my comfort zone. One in the it pushed me to learn things, to look at things differently, to try things completely out of my comfort zone. I mean, glass bottles filled with sand on concrete, pine cones, apples, white china, snow leopard, fur, all these things. It was all completely new to me. And then I was entering it on Flickr, onto their channel on Flickr, putting my work up against people that knew what they were doing. I didn't have a clue. But I just went for it really. Well, there was nothing to lose. And the fact that, yeah, I then won, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And then that led on to, I mean, Facebook have got loads of competitions. So like monthly challenges on things like Pencil Artist Friends do a monthly challenge with a theme. UK Colour Pencil Society, the members group, they do a monthly challenge. And then the winners, there's winners and there might be prizes. But you get recognition amongst your peers. Pitching in your latest favourite drawing to someone like Colour Pencil magazine on their social media posts, or to Colour magazine into their gallery, and then there's a chance it will be printed in their magazine. So even though that's not like a formal competition, that is still a way of putting your work out there. You are up against other people, but then you are selected, which is really nice. With selection, different competitions have obviously different entry requirements. Some of them require you to use your own reference photos. Some of them, you just need reference with permission. But it's always really good to dig down and look at the rules of them all. You started a piece for the catering competition. It's definitely out of your comfort zone. Fabulous, Kerry. Can't wait to see what that is. Oh, I'm excited to see now. But again, yeah, I mean, you've done things like, but you've done the marbles and things. You know what I mean? There's so many. If any of you have got any entries there, any of the tutorials that you've done, the draw-alongs that you've done, anything that you've done from my Patreon, please do get it into the competition. I really want to see an abundance of entries coming in, because it really makes me smile, and to see the progress and the confidence that it brings out in people as well. I mean, you've got things coming up as well. You've got the Derwent Art Prize. It's worth pitching into. You have to pay for entry to some competitions. You must, like you say, must read the rules in every competition, because some of them just want you to name your piece slightly differently. So your surname with an underscore and then the name of the thing. Sometimes you have to put the description in there, the size, a credit to the reference photographer if it wasn't yourself. Like I say, just always dig down in those rules. But there's tons of competitions out there. There's local competitions. I'm entering a local competition if I can get to the framers in the next couple of days. That's the thought, and get my big polar bear framed up, because that hand-in is the 13th of January, and I've got a funeral the first week, so I don't know when else I will get it in. So I need to get on the case with that one. So what I'm thinking of doing, as we're coming up to the end of a year. Oh, fabulous, Nicola, brilliant. Hi, Elaine. But what I'm planning on doing is, because this last year it's just been so all over the place, still haven't been able to really plan the workshops, had to cancel workshops still and events, and I think next year is going to be better. I just think at the moment, our government, and like I said, there's lots of things just going on. No one really knows what they're doing. So what I'm going to do is bite the bullet, and I'm going to make plans for myself. I want popping down to the Sketch for Survival exhibition, which is another fab one to enter. You can enter it. It's free to enter. If your work gets selected and it gets auctioned off, it raises money for an amazing cause. There's lots of events out there like that as well. Or joining a local art society and exhibiting with them. There's usually a competition, and it's usually always a People's Choice vote as well. And it's lovely to win the People's Choice. Getting your work juried in, getting your work recognised, and winning a Best in Show is just like amazing when you're up against all your peers and all those famous names around the world. It's kind of a pinch me moment. It's real, like, really? And then you sit there waiting, are they going to send me an email to say they've made a mistake? It really is like that. But I sometimes still think that when I've entered into an exhibition and none of the people in that area know me, I'm just a name along with everyone else. When I've won the People's Choice Award at those type of events, that's when it really tickles me. It's like, because people, you want your work to bring joy, and you want the fact that when you exhibit your work, you get that message across, or you've brought a smile to someone's face, or they've just loved what you've done. So when you win a People's Choice, I think that has meant more to me. It's a different meaning. Your peers and being judged on a high international level as a winner in a competition, rife with amazing artists, is amazing, and it's great professionally. But I think personally, when someone gives you your vote that doesn't know you, just loves what you've done, they just love that drawing of a cat or whatever, that's the winning one for me. Once you enter a competition, being out there, do you have to do commissions? Oh no, Sandra, of course not. Everyone enters competitions, hobbyists up to tutors, professionals that have been doing it for years. You can enter some competitions like the UK Colour Pencil Society and some of my local exhibitions that I've done. You don't even have to put your work for sale. So if you wanted to, if you've done a piece you've already sold, you could always borrow it back and, sort of, if you're on good terms with your client or you've gifted it to someone, say, can I borrow that piece back for a couple of weeks? I need it for an exhibition. You don't have to... You go on and do commissions. Someone might approach you. It's a good way of people finding out about you as well. You get your work out there. I did a little local exhibition back in September, and I had like an art society get in touch the next day saying, will you come and do as a talk for like 25 people? Will you do as a demo? Other people have been in touch. So it does lead to some great things and great connections as well. And plus, if you can get to the exhibition, if it's a physical one, you get to meet people, like-minded people. So there's so many other benefits from it, but it's more about building confidence. It's a hard one as a professional because I was always led to believe, and I kind of believe it's true as well, is you need to kind of keep up entering exhibitions because you need your name to stay out there and up there and to be seen to be doing that kind of thing. But it's just been hard, like say, with the physical exhibitions this last year or so. But no, there's no commitment entering a competition to do commissions. I think a lot of people wouldn't enter if that was the case. But if you want to enter and get commissions, you can, because it does lead people to link up to you. Because if you do a physical exhibition, then you can leave your business cards there. And obviously, on the main table, and if anyone asks, then they'll give your card out for you. So it's always good to have some promotional material with an email or address or a contact on there when you, if you do a local physical exhibition or even a big one. Obviously, I do Wildlife Art Society International as well. It's one of my favourites. You pay to be a member each year. There's no jurying in. So you hobbyists right through to professionals. You've got people there selling their art from, I don't know, say £45 up to £15,000. I've always sold really well there, which has been really nice. Missed it this year, but next year I've already got pieces ready to go in. I've got a couple more to create, and I love that one because then I get to go along, I get to meet the other artists, I get to demo, teach workshop or attend a workshop. It's a really brilliant community, and it's a great one as well for events around the country. So joining societies along with entering competitions is fab, but just enter online ones, just enter ones that are free. Just on Facebook groups. A lot of them have, let's say beginner, intermediate, advanced level with good descriptions on what that means. If you're unsure, just come back in the group and ask us that, I want to enter this competition on Pencil Artist Friends. Colin Goodgroves is in our group, and he's an admin of Pencil Artist Friends along with Karen Hull. They can answer that question for you. But I think Colour Pencil Addicts have got a colouring competition, I think that is, rather than a drawing one. Loads of social media ones, but I'm going to pull together a list of ones I think are good for you for next year. And also, I do share out in America, they have tons in America, local state ones, national ones, themed ones like pastel, modern art, contemporary, loads of different ones, loads of opportunities on there, but some of them are open worldwide. CPSA do obviously their exhibition, and they do their mixed media exhibition as well, which is online. So there are lots. So I'm going to start putting a list together and putting it up in the files in the group as well. So on to, I think, I'm going to do a little demo, but I have no idea how well this is going to work. So we were talking the other day. Any questions you've got, please ping them in the chat whilst we're talking away here as well. So, yeah, we were talking about heat. There's the thing called the Icarus board, which I've not bought. I've had a go on one. There's a couple of different sizes that you can get, and you get basically what it does. It's a patented design, the Icarus board, and from the word Icarus, you can tell it heats up. Now, it works best with obviously something like wax-based pencils. So with Prismacolor, it works beautifully. But when we started mentioning the ChromaFlow the other day, I was thinking, oh, maybe a good idea to get the little heat pad out, and we'll have a play on there. And that's hence why I brought out these wax crayons as well. Wax crayons, that sounds really like those things Crayolas we used to use as a kid. These are not. Believe me, these did not cost the same as those. And I got these at wholesale price as well. Oh, dear me. Anyway, I don't have the Icarus board. I could not warrant enough use from it to buy it. In America, you're okay to get it. You can get a discount code for it as well. In the UK, you can buy it, and there is discount code as well. But it's the import taxes that bother me here in the UK. We get stung by huge import taxes of anything coming into the UK, and I refuse to do it just on principle. And the fact that I was not going to get enough use out of it, even just to do a couple of demos for you guys, it wasn't enough, and not enough people have got them to be able to fairly teach a tutorial on for people to follow, because so what I wanted to do this evening was just show you that you can create your own. It's nowhere near as good a version as using the Icarus board. Let me just tell you that. The Icarus board, you can control the heat. You also can have a warm and a cool area. So you can warm on one side, and then you can mix and blend your pencils beautifully, and then cool off, move it straight over to the cool side as well of the board. What I bought ages ago, and I've tried it a couple of times, and to be honest, I don't think it's that good. Other people have had good success on these things. I just don't think it heats up enough. So what I bought was, that has just lifted all of my magnets up. Let me just put those magnets back down there. My light did not like that either. Something went on there. Let's get all these back. What I've got down here is a mix of papers. I've got magnets everywhere. Okay, to do a demo on. So what I bought was this heat pad. Now this heat pad is the kind of thing that you put down for reptiles. Just move this out of the way. So it's a heat pad. You can see here, it's plugs into the mains. It's about A3 in size, this one. I'll spin it around so you can just see. You can see here it's 20 watts, and it's literally, these are the kind of things, if you keep reptiles, snakes, I used to keep iguanas, so we used to have heat pads and lights, and these are the kind of heat pads that you pop underneath, and it warms under the surface. So you can pop this down, and then you get this temperature control knob. You can turn up and down, and supposedly you're able to control the temperature. Now, I know people use, is it like tray warmers, for keeping your food warm, like buffet server tray warmer things. I think they use those with more success. You can use something like a hairdryer to heat up an area. So that when you do that, you would put your pigment down and then heat it up and start pushing it around. You sent an email asking for the price of the Icarus but had no reply, so I bought my Holbeins instead, and glad I did now, so I don't think I would get much use out of the Icarus. The people that use the Icarus, they do absolutely stunning work. The results are amazing. I've seen someone who does animal art use them, and to be honest, it is nice to see, because it's someone creating things slightly differently to how everybody else does. But this heat pad hardly heats at all. I've got it on full whack. I've had it on for about 45 minutes, and the heat coming out. Okay, if I touch this side, my actual drawing board, the magnetic board, it's cold. If I touch this pad, it is now warm, but I would say it's pretty much lukewarm. Another way of doing it, drawing an iguana. I think you meant drawing on an iguana then, or whether iguana was an Icarus. I wonder if that was autocorrect then, Megan. The other thing I did try earlier, because when this was not heating up, this heat pad, what I did was I fetched my visual edge board. So this is my visual edge board. And one thing you could do, and this might sound a bit crazy, is literally get something like a hot water bottle, and you could pop this underneath your board, or underneath, a thin piece of Perspex or something, place your board on the top, and then this is warm, this is warmed up here, this is a lovely area of warm, but the only thing with this is, compared to the Icarus board, there's no control. So you've got a lovely warm patch here in the middle, and then as you come out to the edges, obviously it's ice cold around the edges. So the thing with the Icarus is you do have control over heating up a block area, whereas this is literally just heating up that middle area. And another one I have tried to do, Colin, Colin was our iguana. Kerry shared a room with Colin for a while, I think, didn't you? Was it Colin? I can't remember if you had Colin and... I think you did, yeah. Many years ago. The other thing you can do, which I've tried as well, is I've got a glass desk, and the other thing you can do is put like a spot lamp under the desk, and that will heat the glass from below. It's not highly recommended. Obviously, check for safety whether that is okay to do. My glass was tempered glass. I made sure that, I didn't get the glass too warm, and it was enough just to have the light underneath. So there are ways of getting heat onto a surface that you can then put drawing paper onto to have a go at this. And or like say, use a hairdryer. I'm not using a hairdryer tonight because it will be too noisy. So I am going to steal this hot water bottle back off here and put it on my knees. So we have got this heat pad. It's actually, the longer it's down here, the more it's warming up. But I would say, it's a shame I haven't got the temperature. I could have took the temperature of it. But it is definitely, like I say, compared to it being really cold, this is lovely and warm. But you could, on a hot summer's day, go outside and mix and blend with the sunshine on you. That's like, your pencils are just going to go whoosh, but you might not have the right control. To be able to control the temperature is a good thing, and that's why that Icarus board is a good thing. So the two papers, I've got 4 papers here. I've got a little piece of Xerox Never Tear. Excuse my nails as well. I meant to do my nails today and I didn't get around to it. I've got a piece of drafting film. I've also got then a piece each, just a strip each of the Duralar. So I've got the black Duralar and the white Duralar. So these are the opaque craft plastics, or basically it's Dura Bright, comes in the pad, or it can come in sheets like this, individual sheets. So these are the ones that Graphics have sent me a while ago. So that's what I've got here. So this is the black plastic, this is the white plastic, this is the drafting film, and this is Never Tear. I just thought I'd get 4 quite similar sheets together that are nice and thin, that was going to warm up nicely. So I've left that there just to warm. No idea how this is going to work. But what I was thinking of doing was trying this out on the warm film. And then we'll take it off and just let it cool down, and we'll do exactly the same thing in that. Oh, I've got some Yupo. I never thought about that. I've got Yupo, and I've also got the stone, the paper that's made from stone. I've got a couple of sheets of that here somewhere. I tend to not pull the pieces out that I don't think anyone's going to use. I didn't think about that. Yes, Nicola, they do a black drafting film. I've done a couple of tutorials on them. I've done Black Cat on Black Dura Bright. I think I've done a white on black as well. I'm definitely going to be doing one in the new year anyway, because I think more people have got it now. Beautiful stuff. The best pencils that work on there have been my Prismacolor so far. They take the colour really beautifully, and that's why I'm thinking the Chromaflow might work really nicely on it. So I'm literally going to put down some pigment, see how well it comes out and how bright it is. And then I've got a few little tools here. I've just got like a blending stump, just an ordinary blending stump. I've got a little brush there to see if I can pull any of that pigment around. I've got a bigger brush as well. And then I've got a softer brush. And I've also got my blade. Oh, I did have my blade. I think I might have left the room with it, actually. I've usually got another blade to hand. I will find a blade, don't worry. I will have to find a blade. Okay, so I've got some Prismacolors here as well, just to do a little comparison. Yeah, I found my blade. There it is. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, let's have a look at these Chromaflow. They do look a lovely range of colours, I must say that. So they are beautiful. So a lovely range, bright yellow, amber gold, golden sun. So yellows, there's like a brown ochre there, going into the oranges, a pink, purples, blues, and then we've got these here. So the black, white, a platinum, natural brown, raisin, burnt sienna, a couple of nice greens. Oh, that's nice. That turquoise green's beautiful, and a couple of pale blues. So there's a nice range of colours there. Anyway, this tin just keeps picking up the magnets. So I think what we should do is maybe pull out our primaries, or the closest I can find. So I'm going to pull out Scarlet Red, the Sun Yellow, and what blue is that? Oh, a blue. So I'm going to pull those primaries out, and we're just going to have a little play with those, and I'll pull out the black and the white as well. And I'll do the same then with, I think I've got the same with the Prismacolor, and also the Neocolor. So it's the first time, like I say, I've pulled these out. I'm going to just line this up. Do you want me just to write on here? If I just write across here. So this is the Never Tear. Okay, this is the drafting film. This is white Dura Bright. And this is the black Dura Bright. Now, the Dura Bright is 0.010 microns, which means it's double the thickness of this drafting film. So the heat coming through is probably slightly less than the film. The film's thinner, so it's coming through a lot better on that film. I can feel that. Like I say, let's just have a go. Chromaflow. Chromaflow come in two sets, a 12 and a 24. They sent me the 24, so this is the full range. As far as I know, from what they've told me, they don't currently have any plans to extend this range. People were asking about it when they first came out. Never Tear is by Xerox, as in rank Xerox. It's by Xerox. Frank, YouTuber. Okay, it's all right, Frank. Chromaflow is not Lightfast. Yeah, Susan, they weren't interested really in creating a Lightfast pencil because Prismacolor isn't really Lightfast. That's one of the main things about the Rogue pencil, supposedly, within Prismacolor. Let me just get my... adjust a little bit. There we go. So I'm going to zoom in a tiny bit here. Here we go. Let's pull this back across. Make sure I get it all in the screen. Let's get rid of that sign. We don't need that sign there. Go away. There we go. Okay. Just wondering if I want to add any more light. This might flicker, but I'm going to try add in a little bit more. There we go. A little bit more light there. There we go. Okay, so this is going to be on our paper that's a little bit warm. So I've got it turned up full blast. Can't make it go any warmer. But this is going to be something like, say, try it at home. Get the hairdryer on it. You know, put something over, just something that's warm. If you've got one of those plate warmer things, try it. Just don't burn yourself or have it on full blast, whatever. So I'm just going to literally just come in. So the Nevertare tends to really sort of... You can't get many layers on Nevertare. But what I want to do is just build up. These are really vivid. And what I'm going to do is, like, say, first of all, just come across and build up a nice saturation of each colour. It's going to be slightly more muted on the drafting film, but I've got a feeling these might work nicely on the film. It's quite nice for you to see a side by side of this anyway. Okay, so black Durabite. Ooh, can't see much on there at all. We'll do a comparison, like I say, because this is warm. This is going to be grabbing the wax binder. That has just gone on so slick, and you can't hardly see any colour, can you? That's really interesting. So we'll do a side by side. We'll bring in the Prismacolor as well onto the black Durabrite. I was hoping that these were going to work nicely. I've not used this white Durabrite before, and I am going to do a tutorial on it. So the Nevertare has come out a beautiful colour. The most true colour, I'd say, as well. The white Duralarite's coming out a little bit orange. Black Durabite hasn't really hardly come out. It's there, but you can hardly see it. The drafting film is slightly muted. Do you know what I'm going to do? We'll do an instant side by side. I've got a nice permanent red Prismacolor here. So let's just put the Prismacolor down. I'll see if there's any, it feels any different. Okay, so first thought is the ChromaFlow is creamier. Because ChromaFlow is going down smoother than the Prismacolor. Much smoother. It's almost like it's a thicker, creamier pigment. So let's try it on the drafting film. I'll move my little bit of film over so that you can see it on with the white backing. Here we go. Yeah, it's definitely the ChromaFlow is definitely a thicker pigment, or thicker, more pigmented. And when I say that, it's not gone on slick. It's stuck and binded nicely to that surface. Yeah, this is exactly the same on the black. Hardly visible. Hardly visible at all, is it? Hey Sue, brilliant, nice to have you here. Have you decided on January's tutorials yet? No, Susan, I'm actually going to pitch it open to you guys. For the draw along, I think we're going to do an eye with a reflection in. It might be a two-parter. I was chatting with Deb today as well about the crystal tutorial. That's probably going to be either February's or March's tutorial. So now, just coming back to this one, this, on the white Durabrite, the permanent red Prismacolor has gone down much truer and nicer than the actual ChromaFlow. So, really nice pencils, both of them nice, thick and creamy, but it obviously, depending on which surface you use, is to how well they perform. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to carry on just with the ChromaFlow for now. So I'm going to literally come in directly below that first red block with a nice layer, nice thick layer of our yellow. It's a real shame that these aren't showing up nicely on the black Durabrite. So again, on the Durabrite is also what it's doing. And if you can see, there's little bits of pigment breaking off, and that's because it's not taking many layers. So if you remember on the demo that I did, the Duralar doesn't take as many layers as the drafting film. It just doesn't stick. And even on this white, there is still pigment coming off there as well. Not as much, but it is coming off. Now I can feel it with the heat. We'll do it, like I say, we'll do it cold as well. And what I want to do is just see how much I can push this pigment around when it's warm. We'll try and do some blends as well. Let's get this red, yellow, blue down. Yeah, Susan, I'm going to pitch it out as well with, because I'd like to do a white on black Durabrite piece, or I'd like to do a piece on white Durabrite as well. So I've got some images for people to choose from. Now I can see this red, yellow, blue quite clearly here, but on the screen I don't think you can as much. So on this I'm going to do a white underbase and then put the colours on over the top, just as an extra. So can you see here the difference between the Xerox on the left? This wasn't supposed to be a paper comparison, but it is a little bit now. And you can see it's powdering, not powdering, but little bits of pigment are breaking off here. And this goes to show again how little the tooth is. Yeah, I'm pressing quite hard there for Harry. I'd say a pressure 7, 8. I could press a tiny bit harder, but I'm pressing hard because I want to get a nice thick layer down. But look how beautifully rich on that Nevertear is. See, I'd love to do a demo on a tutorial on the Nevertear as well. It depends, like, if everyone can get hold of it. What they're like on something like Black Colourfix Smooth or Metean. I've got Metean Touch, I've got Metean, and I've got Black Colourfix Smooth. So I'll have, now that they're out of the tin, I'll have a little play on my black surfaces. That might be the best way of comparing it all, to be honest. I'm just going to do a little layer of a fine, real light layer. This is a very light pressure now of white on here. Very, very light pressure of white. And what I'm going to do is just come in over the top with a red. Now I've got a feeling this red is just going to mix with that white rather than sitting on top. We'll just see if it comes out any brighter. No, it's just mixing really than the colours on the left. Tiny bit. So putting the white underneath has helped a little bit, but because it's warm I think it's just mixed and blended more than anything. It's helped it lift a little bit there. Normally I'd use like a hard, underneath my thicker coloured pencils, coloured pencils, I would use a hard white as the base. So something like the Derwent Pro colour makes a great base. Even Polychromos makes a good hard base. And then your smoother, creamier pencils go over the top without mixing with that white and turning pink or pale yellow or pale blue. Okay, so I'm just going to, down here, just pop in some black. And then we're going to start and mix and blend and see if we can drag any of this out. So what I'm trying to do, yeah, I'm using heavier pressure, because there's no real tooth to kill on this paper. It's not like working on pastel matte. I just want it to have as much pigment down as possible and then be able to try and drag it or blend it. I won't bother with the black on there, we'll just pop the white on there. Now that black is an absolutely beautiful black, so I think what I'm going to do is just check the light fastness on that black with Derwent, because that is a really thick, intense black, and I would like to use that as a black in my drawings. That is a winner. If that one isn't going to be, you know, susceptible to fade, it shouldn't, because it is black, it should be fine. So the last thing I want to do is just bring this white in. Let's see how bright this white is. And that's quite nice on there. Don't think I've got my white Prismacolor there. Alright. No. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to try and mix and blend with the pencils first of all. So I'm going to pull this yellow first of all up into over the red and see how much we can drag. See, it's not, it is actually, it's mixing nicely. It's just pulling. What I wanted it to do is, if I just did this cold, it'd probably be quite blotchy. Now, by using the heat, it's softening that wax, so it should give, in theory, it should give a much smoother blend. Okay. And as far as I can see, let's try it on the drafting film. The drafting film will be a real winner if... Oh, yeah, it's really pulling that pigment. Drafting film is renowned for not allowing really nice smooth blends. Now, the addition of the heat, again, should allow us to create a nice soft blend with these waxier pencils. It does work with your oily pencils, but it works with the wax better, obviously, as you can appreciate. The wax is melting and softening with the heat. So that has just given a lovely soft transition there. We'll do the same with the other primaries. I don't think it's even worth carrying on, to be honest, with demonstrating on the black Dura-Bright, because it's not really showing up or giving us the results. It's a bit of a shame. I'll have to have another play with that, I think, and see about getting a nice hard white down underneath. It might be that the black Dura-Bright just works better cold, with straight strokes on there. So yeah, thicknesses of the Nevertell. So far on the internet I can see 5mm and 10mm. I've got different thicknesses. I would say this one here is 10mm, but I've worked on both. I've got different thicknesses. You tend to buy it in reams because it's usually used for like a copier paper, a print paper, because obviously it's by Xerox. There is someone in the group, I think, that did buy a box and was happy to split it. Steph Perry in the group uses Xerox quite a lot as well. Okay, so I'm just going to come up and drag that on the Dura-Bright. Is lovely. That is really, really nice. Let's just try it with the Prismacolor as well, just so we're doing a nice comparison. See, the Prismacolor is melting even more. And then what I want to do is just use... The only thing with this is this on the Dura-Bright, see these little crumbs still? It's doing that little break-up crumb thing, which I'm not liking as much. So let's bring in... I've got a little brush. Where's my little brush gone? Here it is. I'm going to bring in a little brush. So you can bring in any kind of blending tool. You can use... this is a great way of doing something if you don't want to use solvent, because solvent, I hate solvent. Yes, Steph's gap tutorials on Nevertell. She did a watercolour pencil underpainting, followed by dry pencil work on top. The knife works stunningly on Nevertell. It's absolutely stunning. Colours are super, super vivid. I was kind of hoping that this white Dura-Bright was going to challenge the Nevertell, because obviously the Nevertell you have to buy so many sheets of the stuff. It's not that expensive though, and whereas the Durabright, obviously you can pick up 4 sheets. You don't have to buy a whole pad. So I just want to come in whilst this is warm, and I just want to try and use a brush first of all. And I don't know if you can see this, but I'm able to pull this pigment around. It's just grabbing the pigment. Let's come down into this blue. Let's just see if we can get a bit of a blend on just using a brush. And we'll try a couple of different tools. So you see here, this is coming up now. I'm just able to pull this pigment out. And this is a way of creating softness, smoothness, and beautiful transitions between. So let's help this out by adding a little touch more yellow pigment over that blue. And then rather than using our pencil to blend, we'll use our brush. So let's come in with this brush. And you're able to do this, like I say, because it's on that heat. You could use a thicker, heavier brush. Just seeing, let me just grab one of my blending stumps here. The trouble is with the blending stump, it's a little bit dirty. Let me just try and clean it off. Okay. So you can use a blending stump. I think the brush was working better. But again, this will help to create beautiful smoothness as well. And you need to work it. I'm pressing hard here. But it's just got enough heat on there to let me pull that around. You see that lovely softness there. And whilst I'm there, saying about how well the knife works on Never Tear, I'm just going to come through it with my knife. So I just flick through there. It peels away absolutely beautifully. So I'm just going to do the same thing now on our drafting film. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra pigment down into this area. A little bit of blue up into the yellow and a bit of yellow down into the blue. And we'll do the same on our white Durabright. The white, see that intensity on that Never Tear is absolutely stunning. I'm getting so many. Again, the Never Tear is renowned for not having, not giving as many layers, but compared to this Durabright, and I think compared even to the drafting film, the smoothness that we are getting. So let me just want to try and make sure we get a really nice smooth blend there. So come in with the brush again. So I'm using a nice firm pressure there. Just pull some of this out. But if you want a nice soft edge, this is going to give you it. Gamsol's a solvent, it's no smell and doesn't give me a migraine. Do you know what? I need to try the Gamsol. I keep meaning to order some. I find the zest, it just absolutely wipes me out. This is a really, really good comparison just to see. Do you know what? I'm going to take the black Durabright away because I think it's distracting. Let's get our 2 white films, the Never Tear, the Durabright, alongside each other, and our drafting film. And we can just see how vivid it's coming out on this Never Tear. And I think I'm really tempted now to do a Never Tear tutorial. I've been wanting to. So that's that blend. But even this is blended together quite smoothly here, but it's blended together better on the Never Tear. And I think mainly because the Nevertare has taken a much higher saturation of pigment. And the Durabright, like I say, I'm just not 100% happy with the amount of pigment it is got there. But you can see the lovely softness that it's giving. I'm just going to do the same lines up through with... We know the drafting film works beautifully, so it gives a nice sharp line through there. Let's try the Durabright. I know the knife doesn't like the black Durabright. It's fine on the white. Yeah. So you can see there, knife is cutting through there beautifully. Last thing I want to try then is let's just do a blend with our white and black on each one. So remember, this is on the surface whilst it is warm. It's not hot, but it's just warm. Now, the white Durabright is actually a brighter white than the Nevertare, so I can see the white pencil showing up on the Nevertare. You might not be able to see that online. So I'm going to come in with my blending stump this time. And let's see whether we can get a nice soft blend with this heat. Because people always say about creating smooth subject on film, like portraits, and they struggle. It's great for creating texture, but for smooth images, the heat I think is going to help. The softer pencil will help. So this I'm just going to start dragging. See how much it's letting me drag this pigment around. So for creating softness, this is going to be a really nice option. I might try this with the Prismacolor as well, because I do like the black Prismacolor. Takes a bit of work to keep the smoothness. You just need to be really conscious of when you pick up a little bit more pigment. But it's blending out lovely and smoothly and creating lovely, lovely soft grey there. And of course you can come in with more pigment over the top, but that has just created a lovely soft smoothness. And this is definitely going to be a technique that I will try. Where do I put the white down? This is definitely going to be a technique that I'm going to try going forwards. Using the blending stump with a little bit of heat to pull it out. We'll try it on the cold surface as well. So this is now allowing me to go in over the top again with a little bit more white. This isn't a way that I've worked really on film. We'll try it on the drafting film in a second as well. So this is not a way that I normally worked, but this is something I'm definitely happy to give a try. Let's try that brush again. Brush has got a little bit of yellow on there. So I think something like a stipple brush would work nicely here. So a nice hard stipple brush would work really nicely. But for softer areas, or softer textured fur, dragging the pigment out with a little bit of heat is definitely working nicely. Sandra, okay, I'm just looking up again now, Sandra. Graphite, absolutely stunning. Pastels, I doubt it, because there's no grip. You can use, saying that, you can probably use pan pastel. Okay, so pan pastel will go on there pretty much like it will on drafting film. Okay? I don't think your pastel pencils will, but let's have a look. Got a pastel pencil here. Oh, it does go on, but not very well. It's kind of just scraping across the surface. That is not really going on in a refined way. But you can definitely use pan pastel on there. It's very similar effects to putting it onto drafting film. So I'm just going to blend this out as well on the drafting film. That is lovely. Absolutely lovely. This is blending out smoother on the drafting film than it has on the Nevertare. So again, something like, where you've got a Merle black and white, or a blend of different fur colours and texture is possibly soft. This is the technique I use when I'm using graphite on film. I tend to put pigment down or lift pigment up with my blending tool and apply it with my tortillon, my blending stump. I don't do a lot apart from the details in graphite. So that there is gorgeous soft. Look how soft that is there. Absolutely beautiful. So lastly, we'll just try it on the Durabright. See, I was hoping for a really good result on the Durabright, and then that was going to influence me doing a tutorial on it using this technique. Now to me, that is pretty much just muddied. Yes, it's dragged it out, but it's not really that even or consistent. You can kind of see the marks being made. Like there's not enough grip there. So if anything, that Nevertare, and of course the drafting film we know has got more grip. And it's ended up blending out quite nicely, but needed a bit more work. So again, it's created a lovely soft effect there. This is going to be real good. Like I say, I really recommend you guys then trying out this heat. Would you know if Nevertare is something similar to Terraskin? It's similar to Terraskin as in how it feels and how it works, but the only thing with the Terraskin paper made from stone, as far as I know, doesn't it break down? Isn't it? It degrades, and that's partly why I hadn't used it. I have looked it up before. Nevertare is, I can't remember. Drafting film is polyester. Nevertare is let me just quick look. Nevertare is made with something completely different. It's still a man-made component. Polyester. Oh, I thought that's what. Hang on a second. Synthetic polyester is what the Nevertare is. That is their main. You can get Nevertare from someone other than Xerox, but it's not called Nevertare. That's the trouble. So I'm just seeing if I did manage to get some samples here in the UK from a company down in Cornwall. Just bring it up. Yeah, so the difference between the drafting film and the Nevertare is the film, they're both the polyester then, but the film is usually a base which is then sprayed on. It's got a coating sprayed on either one side or both sides, or it can be clear. So that's the thing, it's a clear film, whereas the Nevertare is a polyester surface that is designed for printing. Drafting film you can print on as well, but one is a film, obviously, and the other one is a paper. That is kind of the main difference. You can see on film sometimes you get like these, the lines forming. I'm just going to lift this lot off onto a cold surface. I know we've gone over time with this, but I just want to finish this demo off, partly out of curiosity anyway. So let's just cool these down. So I don't fully recommend this heat pad, not this particular one. You might get better joy. It might be worth asking in pencil groups, anyone who's used a heat pad, which one have they had success with. because as far as I'm concerned, that just didn't heat up very well at all. Now, I'm going to move this. I'm just going to pop it onto here because this tin is cold. My surface on my board is actually quite warm, so let me just stick this to my tin. And I'm just going to try it, let it cool down a second, then I'm just going to try and apply this pigment again and just see how it feels going down compared to on the warm surface. Let's let it cool down a second. Very similar, Carolyn. You use it in a very similar way to drafting film. Whilst I'm here, right, I'm just going to go and grab something to show you. I hope none of you had anywhere to go for the next like 20 minutes. We'll finish this off. So I've just grabbed my okay, I've just grabbed my Pitt pens. So these are the Faber-Castell Pitt pens. Let's have a look at these. Pitt pens on Nevertare work beautifully. So let me just grab, I'm going to literally just show this like quite quickly. I'm going to move that up. I'll do it down the bottom here. So we'll do a comparison anyway. We'll do it on the drafting film. Pitt pens, I'd love to do a Pitt pen tutorial mixed with pencil. So just put that down. You can see there on the Durabright, it's gone down quite smeary, smoothly on the Nevertare. Drafting film, it's almost blended out really softly. Let me just get a darker one, and then I'm going to mix a light one over the top. So again, just going to mix a few little colours here. This is just a quick demo. This might influence whether you guys what you want the next tutorial to be, but you can see on that Durabright, it's kind of sitting on the surface and moving around. Don't like it at all. And let me just grab here. This is like a light flash. So I'm just going to pull some of this colour around. Oh, it works beautifully on the film. It works beautifully on the Nevertare. Can you hear that squeak? It does not like going down on that Durabright. Great thing is with the Pitt pens, you can get a really fast base layer down. And then you can come in with your blade nice and quickly, and you can just start to create fur texture. Beautifully, beautiful fur texture. Then you can come in with your pencils over the top. I hope you can see that nicely. I don't think I can zoom in anymore. So let's do it on the film. Film, again, absolutely beautiful. So I would love to do, again, I've got so many things I want to do. I'd love to do a Nevertare tutorial. I'd love to do one that combines Pitt pens with pencils. You wouldn't have to use the Pitt pens. It's even working nicely on here, but the only thing is on this is the pens themselves didn't blend together very nicely. But the results are so fast for creating fur. You can see this, can't you? So I've just seen the message about moving the camera to the side. I think I've done that too already, because it's up on the screen. Yeah? Okay. Pitt pen work with the knife. Yep, as I've just shown. I think I'm just catching up on the messages there. You've got a few the Pitt pens, I don't use them enough. And then what you would do is literally, let's grab another pencil. Pitt pen. Yeah, no one's really done many Pitt pen tutorials. I think the combination is fabulous. So I just come in here again now. I'm just picking up a natural brown. You can then come up, let's say, and come into... Obviously, you'd let your pencil work probably dry a little bit more, but then you just come into it a little bit more. with your fur work. You can't get a huge amount of layers in, but again, it's like working on the film. You can come in and you can keep lifting away. So you see the results on the Never Tear. They're the best. Now, this is not gripping to the Durabright at all. No grip whatsoever there. It's pulling some of that wet pigment of the Pitt pen around, but it's not really any pencil work going down on that. That's a real shame. So let's just come in with the white. And again, you can just keep repeating this on the Never Tear, and then come back in again with your blade. So I'm treating each one the same. We saw the results up here were very similar, but this is just pulling the pigment. The pigment is not drying on the Durabright, so you'd have to either allow those Pitt Pen's ink to dry on there so much more. Which demos you're now into 2023 schedule? Oh, I know, Harry, that's the trouble. Best paper for charcoal? Cartridge paper, Nicola. Fabriano 5. Go look at what Bex has done as a gap tutorial as well with the Spaniel dog. And I know she did recommend white cartridge paper. I think she uses Snowden paper. I'm sure it's Snowden paper. But again, a really nice, you want quite a smoothish paper. I wouldn't use on pastel mat. There's tons of other paper that you can use it on, but you want a much smoother paper really. I'm just coming up into here and just texturizing again. I think I'll have to put it out to the vote then. I mean, I'm quite happy to do this as the first tutorial of the year. Find a subject and maybe combine some of these methods where we either do the Pitt pens as the base, with pencil over the top and knife work, on Never Tear, and then it's something completely different again. Or we do it on the heated pad on drafting film, because that's the best result on here, I think, and we drag the pigment around using some heat. But I think the Pitt pen on the Never Tear, and it has been something I've wanted to do for about 3 years, to be honest. And I've got the perfect subject for it as well. But I think, yeah, this is still wet. This is just not drying. The initial Pitt pen is not drying on that surface there at all. And that's a real shame. So let's just brush that away. Brush that away. So we've treated all 3 of those exactly the same. So the film is just really soft and muted, not much detail there at all. Never Tear on the left. It's only a quick pretend doing some fur. And there's the Durabright on the right. So the Durabright's held the colour a little bit better. Just have a little feel. That is still wet, the pen. That's dry. That's dry. So it's just maybe the Durabright. Maybe I'll have to have a look at it. And see what it's like once it is actually dry. I've just been given some Ohuhu paper, watercolour ink pens, not used yet. Do you know anything about them? No, I don't actually. But obviously they might perform pretty much like the Faber-Castell Albrecht Durapens that I've got. They work again beautifully on the drafting film. And you can add water and it does dry on the film really well. I'm not sure about the Durabright, even though the Durabright is made supposedly for mixed media. Right, so I'm going to just finish this off now, and what we're going to do is a complete comparison between the black and the white thing that we did up here. But we're doing it with this paper now cold. Okay, so we will just try that as our final thing. I've kind of thrown lots at you again now, haven't I? Right, so no real difference in that pigment going down. If anything, I think the pigment has gone down smoother on cold paper. How weird. Yeah, on the drafting film. So, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, the heat might be good at points where you want to drag pigment around a little bit. Maybe you need more heat than that heat pad could dish out. But now I'm not really getting the bits of pigment falling off. So I'm wondering if that was little clags of the wax getting hot and then forming on the surface and falling off. So I think the application is better. Apply your pencil cold, and then if you want to drag your pigment around, that's when you use your heat. But what we'll do is literally just come in and we'll see if we can drag any pigment around using the same method with that tortillon. Okay, where's my tortillon? Okay, right, so let's try and drag this and see. Yeah, there's nothing. There's not really anything moving. It's sitting there. It's not moving. Hardly at all. Oh, wow. Let's go around the outside edge. You can pull it out a little bit. So it will be a case, is if you want to use heat, you're going to have to play with it. If you haven't got the Icarus board, you're going to have to really learn what moves at what temperature on the pad that you get. But look at that, I'm applying as much pressure as I can to try and drag that about. Really, really, really pressing hard. Pressing as hard as I can. I can pull a little bit out. Wow, okay. So I think that kind of speaks volumes between cold application and cold dragging, warm application and warm dragging. So the only thing I'd want to try then is the cold application, then move it onto the heat and drag it. So I think your cold application, you say you want to apply all your pigment down, cold application, and then when you want to create this beautiful softness, if you want that lovely soft effect, then come in with your heat. And then lift it off to the cool area again to add details, and lift away, and back onto the warmth. And that's why probably with the Icarus, because I haven't used one, the Icarus has got the warm and the cool area, because you've got to develop a technique and the knowledge and the skill to know when to move from the warmth to cool. So yeah, with the Pitt pens, I'm thinking, I'm going to double check, might be a wolf, but I'm thinking it might be that British blue cat that I've got some stunning photos of. Although that might work better with this technique. Let me see. And that'll be a nice limited palette as well of pens for people to use, because it will literally be some greys, some blues, and that's probably it. Maybe a fleshy colour in there. So, and some colours for the eyes, which are the ambery colours. So that might work beautifully. I'll have to have a little play with the British blue colours. But I'm just giving some Pitt pens. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we just make that decision, you know, and go for it. But I'll take a photo of these results. And see which ones we like. I love that result there on the drafting film for the softness. I love this result here on the Never Tear for the vibrance and the colour that it gives and the sharpness. Durabrite hasn't really won me over much at all for anything. There's nothing smooth about the drag out on the cool. The warm one, it dragged too much. I think with the Durabrite, and even with the Pitt pens, the Durabrite, everything sat on the surface. The drafting film, it absorbed into that coating. Remember, it's got that spray coating. The drafting film, it absorbed into that coating. And the Never Tear was somewhere in between. It's got some kind of coating there, or the polyester, it's soaked in a tiny little bit into the tooth. But yeah, definitely I'm not going to be using the white Durabrite for a project anytime soon, or not anything that I can think of anyway, so that one is out the window. The drafting film, I think the Nevertear is going to have to be a Nevertear project using the Pitt pens, but the drafting film will be a project where we use, maybe we'll do the ChromaFlow project on the drafting film, or Prismacolor, you know, one or the other, and we'll use this technique where we do the application cold and then we'll come in and drag to make this lovely smoothness, because these are the two things that I like from this demo. This for the softness, and this for the vibrance, and this for the speed and the textured effect. Let's pop it down onto the plane surface so you can see. There we go. Okay. There. How many pictures of zebras? Oh, no, God, Elaine, do you know what? I can get pictures of zebras. I have some myself, but they're not what I want. I had an idea in my head for about 5 years of 2 interlock zebras that I want to draw. And until I get that pose, and it's specific zebras as well, that's the trouble. It's not the ones that I see at the wildlife park here. But I think, yeah, that would be beautiful. It's also a project I like to do on the black paper. Let me have a look whether I want to use someone else's reference photo for that or not, and I will get back to you on the zebra thing. Pitt pens look fantastic. Mini critiques at the end of the month. I've got the mini critiques to do tomorrow, I hope. Tomorrow or Thursday. I want to try and get them done before Christmas. I need to see how many people have actually put anything in for them. I should have checked earlier today, but I'll give everyone a bit of extra time to get something in. Past few months. Oh, that's brilliant, Nicola. I'm really, really chuffed that you've learnt stuff. My white opaque Yupo paper will be like the white Shiro. Give it a go, Susan. If you've got a spare piece, I mean, I've got Yupo here. I don't know what it is I've got exactly, but I know I've got a pad of Yupo. I can drag it out, like I say, and have a go on this with exactly what we've done here. See how vivid it comes out. See what the application is like. See how it reacts to having some heat applied to it and dragging it around. But I think this is fascinating between the warmth and the cold. You can see directly there just how much you don't get movement. So the fact that we tend to use the drafting film cold all the time, it means our colours and pigment is going down quite fixed. And any blending that we're getting is literally from pressure and putting down even thicker pencils. Now these are super soft, super blendable, but they hold a good point as well, so they should move quite a bit, so that is quite interesting. The only last thing before you go, I just wanted to try one last thing, because I have got the pencils here, and someone asked about this the other day, the comparison between ChromaFlow and ChromaFlow and Derwent Drawing. So here is Derwent Drawing going down on, oh wow, that's lovely and thick, and here on the drafting film. So we'll do this just the cold approach, a little bit of white. So the Derwent Drawing are, remember, are really thick and opaque. If anything's going to move, these should move. Now I've got a feeling they'll move better with heat. Put all my bits down now. Okay. Oh, I've got one there. So let's just see if cold we can get this to move. Now I've got a feeling this will move better. Yeah, it is. So you're doing drawing. If you're just doing a cold drawing and you want to get some smooth, soft blend without heat, Derwent Drawing is working better than, I think, the ChromaFlow, or even how the Prismacolor would work. So bring some of your Derwent Drawings into your drafting film work as well. Look at that, that is dragged out lovely. So you can just imagine what that is like I haven't got the heat on. I've turned the heat off now. It'll take too long to warm up, but you can just imagine how much that will move with some heat added. So again, it's all about learning about your materials, about your surface, about the different pencils. They're not every pencil is made the same. They're all made so differently. So all your wax pencils have got different amounts of binders and wax, etc., and pigment in there. I'd say these PrimaFlows are beautiful, rich, vibrant, pigment-laden pencils. Yep, light fastness is an issue. But for creating something fun and bright, and for blending, brilliant, and maybe combining them with our Derwent drawing pencils, fab. But I definitely think bringing in some drawing pencils to your drafting film work, if you want to create softness and blend out with a paper stump or a brush, if you don't like using solvents, definitely go down this route. And also, like I say, I'd be really interested. I might have to try and apply some heat to this, to the Derwent drawings, and pulling that around as well to create. It's just means that your work's not going to look like everybody else's. If everybody else is just using cold dry paper and then the knife technique, etc., and the stuff that I've shown you, it's time now maybe we'll try, let's do something different and new. Let's take it up a step. There's still all the beginners projects there, but now let's take it on another step and make our work different to everybody else's out there. So let's bring in a new paper. Let's bring in the Pitt pens that we've had for ages, or our watercolour pens, any marker pens underneath. Let's combine it with our pencil work and our knife work that we already know about. Let's bring in some heat. Let's mix it up and create something different. And maybe if I can teach 4 or 5 things in a tutorial that are different, you only need to take one of them if you like it. You only have to take the paper. You only need to take those pencils. You only need to take those pens, or, just take one of those things into your own work, or you can take all of them. It's up to you. Right, we've gone way over, way over. Sorry, I've kept you all here. Would make a beautiful out of focus or bokeh background. Background would be amazing with them. Do you know what? We never even got as far as trying out the Neo colours, and we're not going there now, but the Neo colours would be brilliant. Fab, Harry, thank you. Easy way of putting it over. Wonderful Q&A, lots of info. Thank you, Sandra. Merry Christmas to you too. Thank you, Karen. I've got to go eat supper. Yep, sorry, I've kept everyone. Thanks, Philip. I hope my cold goes away soon as well. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Julie. Fab, Elaine. Okay, so big thank you to Megan. I know Susan was here briefly as well, but a huge thank you once again to Megan for looking after us all and picking up when I keep missing the questions as well. I get so excited doing these things as well. Poor Rob is sat there waiting for me as well, because I was supposed to be finishing half an hour ago. Maybe we can pick this up, like I say, I'll get those Neo colour out at some point. And like I say, I'll picture out there of we've done this. Let's just go for it on the Pitt pen, etc. A demo on, or the tutorial on the Never Tear, creating something furry. Yeah, I'll sort it. So, comparison of Neo Colour 1 and 2 would be great. I haven't got the 2, I've only got the 1, but I could have a look at that again. Something else for us to maybe do on another demo rather than a tutorial. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone that's been here this evening. Big cheers to you. I will be online to chat to you all live in the group at some point over the next few days, so look out for me in there. I will be doing a live demo possibly on YouTube or over on my Facebook, probably on YouTube though, to finish the the deer is sat over there, sat up behind me. I need to finish the deer. That'll be either this week or next week, depending on how I feel. So cheers everyone to the end of the year. Here's to next year. I'll speak to you all again soon. Everyone, please take care. Stay well. Hope Santa brings you lots of fantastic things, because I'm sure you've all been very, very good. And I will speak to you all again very soon this week. Okay, guys. Cheers. Bye-bye.